Hello. Today I am going to talk about a couple K-dramas and J-dramas that I have been watching recently and my reviews of them. This will also include some info regarding the new journal that I just started at the beginning of May after I finished my last one. So this is a page with some of the reviews on it, but I finished Siren's Kiss, so that's a K-drama. I finished that on 5/19, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. So I absolutely love the suspense on every episode. There were many moments where empathy was felt and the ultimate portrayal of uncertainty that can come with choice along with its consequences. And then another K-drama that I finished was Marry My Husband, so I put a 5 out of 5 stars on that as well. I finished that on 5/20, and this journey was very reflective. It begs the question, if I could go back, what would I change? I knew it would be quite the ride, but in the end, everyone got what they deserved, both good and bad. So happy for the female lead. Love the kitty cat in this too. And then, let me see as I flip through. Lots and lots of journaling. Lots and lots of pages. Let me see. So, a movie that I had watched was, well, there's been a couple that have all kind of had similar themes. So, DoorLock was one that I watched, and that was a Japanese thriller movie, psychological drama. And that basically involved characters that were navigating stalking. So a lot of the movies that I'm going to talk about do talk about stalking. So if that is a trigger, feel free to turn away now. But yeah, I would say that specifically DoorLock talked a lot about, if you are a woman that is living alone, in an apartment building, what does that safety look like? And the navigation of how kindness can be taken differently by different people. So, with that being said, she had her door lock on her apartment changed unknowingly, and she eventually did find out that she had a stalker at that point, and she moved and she was able to navigate that. But it was a very fateful end. She survived, but some of the other characters did not. And then another one I watched was called Under Your Bed. So this was also a Japanese psychological thriller. This was a 5 out of 5. Same with the other one. And for this one, I wrote, this drama and thriller film was so crazy. There was this feeling of unease throughout the whole thing because there were several different aspects to it. There was a level of obsession from the stalker / savior, the extreme physical abuse from the husband, and the weakness, fear, meekness, hope from the female lead. No one necessarily ends up in love or getting a stereotypical happy ending, and it is in one way the best way to end it and in another way the worst. The question would be, would the stalker be able to fully love her in the way that she deserves and needs? So with this one, it was a scenario where, on one hand, the stalker was her savior, getting her away from abuse, but on the other hand, that's not the appropriate way or the healthy way to go about love or safety. So this also ends crazily, and no one ends up together, but she does end up with her freedom. Let me see. A Japanese drama that I finished was Sachiro no One Room. So I did a 4.5 out of 5, and I finished that on 5/25. So this show was intense with its subject matter. It's hard to say that it was a healthy relationship, especially with what the male lead was doing. He saved the female lead from abuse and then revealed to her that he was stalking her. He had millions of pics and a video of her, but he was afraid of showing his face, so he wore a face mask, like a surgical one. And he genuinely wanted to make her happy, and he did. She never took him for granted, and in the end, he did kill himself, which was heartbreaking, but set her fully free from any type of control. Then the other movie that I watched, which I believe was a Korean film, was Unlocked, and this one is currently on Netflix. But I rated that a 4 out of 5. So this felt almost too real, even though this came out in 2023. I feel like phone hacking and cloning is going to lead to much more crime and stalking behavior in the future, and it's going to be much more difficult to prove, especially with AI development. I try not to get too freaked out about it right now. And then, let me see. So another drama that I did watch, and I believe this was a Japanese drama, was called the Yakuza Boss's Beloved, to which I would rate a 5 or a 4 out of 5 stars. That one really was a cutesy, very short drama based in office romance, where the boss of the company ends up being a part of the Yakuza, but ends up indefinitely choosing her over continuing to be wrapped up in crime. And then the next one I watched was Revenge Lover, so I rated that a 3.75 out of 5. I would have rated it a bit higher, but the way the ending was paced out was so hard. The drama itself was cute. I do like the two leads and how they ended up happy and were growing together in their relationship, and you could see that there was a level of genuine care and concern. They ended up softer for one another. Another one I watched was Seal My Lips with a Kiss, so I rated that a 3 out of 5. This drama was cute, and you can tell by the first few episodes that the female lead really wanted to be with her crush, who was the male lead. The tension starts, and the lead really struggles at first to actually understand the amount she did. And the male lead wants to always be there to protect her. And it's funny that there's a lot of tropes in this that are played out. With the office romance, crushes, love that continues to build. Very steamy in some parts. And then, let me see. Yeah, those are my recent reviews, I guess, of the shows that I'm currently watching. I'm also watching Lovely Runner, so I am not done with that yet. And I am also watching Cinderella and the Four Knights, which is a K-drama. With that being said, I am happy that I was able to share this. And I will actually go ahead and flip through what I have so far of my journal, just so you guys can all get an idea of how I am laying it out. So I have a campus journal that has very nice paper. It is grid pattern. I got these in a pack from Barnes & Noble. So I do have my vision board laid out, my Chinese New Year predictions, a lunar calendar, current watches, and then I have some pictures. I also like to put postcards and other mail that I have. I did try the BTS recommended noodles, and those are very good. I got a light from my husband, and this is what was on the packaging, so I put that in here. This reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. I did different like word of the day things, so I think that that's super cool. starting new books. I wrote about where that currently is at. I put some Chinese poems down and some Pokemon. Another spot for reviews of dramas. I really like this collage that I did. Another section, and this was just choosing like which one's different. Some interactive pieces too. I think that's important as well. More collages, and then of course I have this flip up piece right here. This has the Saja Boys cards on it. And then some more collages that I did with also questionnaires, etc. I really enjoy this page, so I did this all about the girl group Twice with different quotes and things. And then this is where I am left off at. But I think that it's important to be able to keep your journal with you. So again, I have mine in my bag along with my book. And really just being intentional about the time that is being spent on these activities. Now, of course, there is going to be some wear and tear when it comes to utilizing your items. I think that I just have to get over that fear, potentially. I think it's more important to be able to utilize the items than have this fear of things not being quote-unquote perfect. So I have my keychain attached, and I plan to write more today. I plan to watch more of my show today. And again, if there's any recommendations of Asian dramas, Asian movies that you guys think are interesting or think are enjoyable, please feel free to share them. I think it's important that we actively engage in content around us and provide a space to talk about that content in a non-judgmental manner. So thank you guys so much, and I will look forward to seeing you guys later.